What's up, fantasy managers? This is Jason, the lucky bastard Uthenwoldt, and you're watching the Fantasy Football Live. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to do today's player pause, which is me and Tyler's player sit, and we're doing it for the Thursday night game, the Rams against the Raiders. I'm doing the Raiders. Tyler, he's not here, but I'm pointing this way. It's like towards where he lives. Like, I guess California is that way. Tyler's video would be for the Rams, and it's coming out tomorrow. I'm excited to do this one because of all the stats I'm going to throw out there. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please take a minute and like this video. And if you could subscribe, if you think the content's awesome, you're going to get more of it. We put out a lot of videos a week, and leave some comments of how we can even do better or what you like about the show. We appreciate it. It goes a long way if we could just get those three things. That'd be great. All right, let's get into this. So I'm going to try to make this video. I got a lot of stuff to go over, but I don't want to do 15 minutes worth and lose all the ADHD people within the first 30 seconds. So I'm trying to keep it entertaining as I can. First off, I'm doing the Raiders, so I'm going to give you a little stat about the Rams defense, right? The Rams defense, they give up 250 yards per game. But in the last three games, they've given up 320 passing yards a game on average. The Rams defense, they give up 96 yards a game. That is 3.9 yards per carry. So right under 4 yards per carry the Rams give up to opposing running backs. The Rams defense has allowed in the last 6 games 31, 16, 27, 27, 26, and 27 points. Needless to say, you could score on these Rams, right? They're not the same Rams that we were used to. They got a lot of injuries this year. They're a broken team. They're not as a threat anymore. Aaron Donald, he's out. He's not going to be playing. Their linebacker, Terrell Lewis, is out. He's not going to be playing. And their number 2 cornerback, Troy Hill, he's questionable to play in Thursday night's game. So no one really fears them anymore, right? You could put points on them. You could throw the ball on them. So with that said, let's go into who you should play and who you should pause. Also on my videos, I like to do boom or bust. And what I do is kind of see a player's average and think like, oh, he's not going to get that average, or not average, projections, like ESPN projections. And I'm like, oh, he's not going to get that. He's going to get like 5 points under. Bust. I'm going to bust you up, boy. That's a bust. All right. But if they get like 4 or 5 points higher than the projections, that's a boom. That's a boom. We want those booms. More points, the better, right? That's the boom. And I'm going to lead this off with a boom with Derek Carr, the Baco boy. And people are like, what? I'm not even starting him. I don't think anyone in my league is starting him. I'm going to tell you why maybe you should start him. And we're going to go a little something like this. Here's the stats. Okay. He's the 13th overall pick. He's 13th overall quarterback scoring. The Rams are the 18th best defense against quarterbacks. So I'm going to give you a little bad stat. You know, I'm going to do some salt before I put the pepper, right? So the little salt is the last 2 games, or I think maybe the only 2 games Derek Carr has played against the Rams. He's thrown 0 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's not great. And you're asking me why you're not convincing me to start him. Like I said, the Rams, they're not the same. They're broken this year. This is not the Rams of Christmas past, right? Different Rams. Let's say, what do I got here? The last 6 quarterbacks to play the Rams before Thursday night's game. This is their stats, right? Jimmy Garoppolo, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tom Brady, 280, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Colt McCoy, 238, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Andy Dalton, 260, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 320 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Geno Smith, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Holy crap. They are giving a lot of points to their opposing quarterbacks in the last 6 games. Let's add some more pepper onto that. Derek Carr, since week 9, has thrown multiple touchdowns in every game. Every game since week 9, he has thrown multiple touchdowns. There was games I saw he had 3, but most of them were 2, still multiple, whatever. That's multiple touchdowns. That's what you want out of your quarterback. You want him to throw multiple touchdowns. Since week 9, he has 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's pretty good. Some people out there may be like, oh, Jason, yeah, but he only has like 20 touchdowns this year. That's not very good. Bro, 13 of those 20 touchdowns, he's been away. He hasn't even been at home. And you know what he's doing Thursday? He's playing at Los Angeles. I guess that's where the best of Derek Carr comes out, when he's on the road. I think you should play him, and I think this is the game set that he's going to score you 20 points. This could be it. I don't see why not. Boom, play Derek Carr. All right, on to the next. Let's go Josh Jacobs, shall we? First off, he's questionable. He's likely to play. He's got those quads. Those quads a little sore, but they're saying he's probably going to play. So you play Josh Jacobs. He's the number 1 overall running back scoring in fantasy football. It's enough said, right? You got the number 1 overall position player on your team. You play them. You don't play them. You don't bench him. You don't put him on the bench. You play that guy. The Rams are 8th best defense against running backs. Okay, so Jacobs, the last 4 games, has had 20 plus carries, 17 receptions, 4 touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.3 yards per carry. They are working that boy. Brahma, Roll Tide. They are working that boy. But it's paying off. He's putting up numbers. He got himself to the number 1 overall in the running back scoring. They're doing well. There's something that the Raiders have done. They kicked it up a notch, and their offense is doing pretty well. Or at least the 3 guys I'm going to talk about. And out of the whole year, Josh Jacobs has had 3 30-point games. You start that. So the Rams defense, also, they give up an average of 96 yards a game. Josh Jacobs, it was a crazy number, like 92% of carries or snaps on the Raiders offense. Like, he's the guy who touches the football behind Derek Carr. He's the guy. It's him. It's him. I believe he's going to have another good game. You got to play that dude. On to the next. Play Davante Adams. Guess what? He's wide receiver 1 overall fantasy football. So they got a running back that's number 1. They got the wide receiver that's number 1. And the Rams are 26th best against scoring wide receivers. Adams has had 7 touchdowns the last 5 games. Out of those 5 games, he's had 3 30-point games. Out of the 5 games, 4 of them, he's had 120 plus receiving yards. And a total out of those 5 games, he's had 67 targets. 67 targets. That is so many in that span. There's players who go all year without getting 67 targets. He got in 5 games. One of those games, he had 14. Derek Carr loves this dude. And they're finally starting to connect, right? The Raiders offense is connecting. They're putting up numbers. They're putting points on the board. They're putting points in your computer. They're doing it. They're doing the damn thing. I'm very excited about this. This was just it was fun to do. So the last game Davante played against Jalen Ramsey, the only star defensive player playing for the Rams right now. Yeah, he had 8 receptions, 104 yards, and 9 targets. Good, not great. You know, I think you kind of want the trend of the 7 touchdowns the last 5 games to keep going, which I believe it will. The last 2 Thursday night games that Davante Adams has played, he's had 10 receptions in both of them. One game he had 180, the other game he had 173 with 1 touchdown. So he also plays pretty well on Thursday night football. So this has seemed like an overall good matchup for Davante Adams. So I think you got to play that dude. So I did some plays. You're like, Jason, you're just going to say play everybody on the Raiders, right? Wrong. We got to do a pause on Mack Hollins. I actually picked that dude up last week. I was just thinking about starting him. I ended up starting the Jets running back, and it was a pretty good choice by Jason. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. And so digging a little bit deeper into it, like Mack Hollins, he gets like a medium-size targets and receptions. I think his main problem is he doesn't get a lot of receptions past 10 yards. He usually gets it within the sticks, and he doesn't do a lot of running after the catch, right? So that kind of down, like he doesn't get that many points, and the opportunities he does have, he doesn't make a whole lot out of it. I think one thing that's going for Mack Hollins is that Troy Hill, he's questionable. He's their number 2 cornerback. He might not play. If he doesn't play, it's either going to be like the 3rd or 4th string that's going to be covering him. So I think there's a gamble for him to get a touchdown or maybe more receptions and more opportunities, but I still don't think they're going to stare away from Davante Adams, you know. But there's a gamble if Troy Hill doesn't play, or if he does, he's probably going to be a little bit banged up, that he might get some deep shots. It's a gamble. I'm not playing him. I don't think I'll ever going to play him until I see more consistency out of him. Right now, it's just like you're just hoping. It's a wish, right? I hope this guy does well, because you're not sure. It's likely that he won't, right? Okay, so next, I'm going to say we need to pause the tight end Foster, right? The Rams are 19th best against tight ends, but Foster only averages 2 receptions, 4 targets, and 30 yards a game. You know, he only has 2 touchdowns out of this whole year. I know it's a tight end wasteland, but there might be some better options that give you some more opportunities every week, probably. You know, I don't think there's enough football to go around. And in a game like this, they're probably not going to need their tight end, right? So I think you pause him. He hasn't shown anything that he's going to blow up every week or every other week or whatnot. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities. Those opportunities go to Jacobson, Davante Adams. Okay, so pause the Raiders defense. They're 31st overall. They have a great matchup. They're going against a broken Rams, as I said a million times, and a backup quarterback. But the Raiders defense isn't reliable. They don't get a lot of turnovers. They had 5 sacks last week, and I think that was their most all year. Before that, it was like 2 sacks. They don't get to the cornerback enough. I wouldn't start them. There's better options out there on the waiver. I'm sure there is, unless you're in a very deep league. Unless you're in a 32-man league, yeah, then play the Raiders. And then last but not least, play Daniel Carlson. He's 4th overall for kickers. He's a reliable kicker, and he's on an offense that could get to the other side of the field. So even if they stall, he's likely gonna kick the field goal, and he's likely gonna make it. And that is it. That's my book of secrets. Oh, you wish. If you made it this far, thank you. I really hope you take this advice. I mean, this was a very fun video to shoot. I love the stats I put in. Go with the stats, right? The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. If they do lie, just blame me. I'm okay with it. I'll take all the punishment. I'll take all the hits. Take it on me. I'm pouring out here. Also, right before you go, if you could please we'd appreciate it. It goes a long way. If you could subscribe, we're trying to get our numbers up. Leave some comments if you got some questions, all right? I hope you guys have a good week. Tyler will be out tomorrow with his video, and I'll see you guys again on Friday for Beer Time Breakdown, which is my favorite video to do. So, You guys take it easy and good luck.